So it's the beginning of the season for us, and I want to start some seeds off early. Now I have some Lao seeds here, which I experienced growing last year with the Sheish in West Wales, but now we're in Yateley. So I have 5 Lao seeds to grow. I'd like to get some more as we go along, but I want to start some of these quite early. I have some Naga ghost chilies, really strong chili. I have 15 seeds there, and from my friend Sheish, who's grown these over the years, sometimes the success rate isn't 100%, you know. So even if I got 5 chili plants out of that, I'd be quite happy, and then save the seeds for next year and then grow more next year. I'll see, maybe I might even get some more. But at the moment, things are a bit tight, and it's January. It's not the busiest time of the season, and we've just settled in Yateley. Although I've got some great customers already, I just have to make sure that I push my business a little bit more before I spend too much money on things. But then we also have a load of organic pepper seeds, which I just collected from peppers that we've eaten, and we source everything we can organically. Even though we're not actually certified organic, we'll grow everything naturally, because I believe that you're protecting nature by not using herbicides, pesticides and fertilizers, because fertilizers are really no good for the soil over the long term. You want to put things naturally into the soil, like well-rotted horse manure, and I'm doing my best to source organic horse manure. I'll keep you filled in with that, but that's what I'm aiming to do, get organic horse manure, and then organic seeds as well, and use comfrey, nettle or other things like that to feed the plants. Comfrey's a great one. You just gather the leaves, put them in a bucket, a load of the comfrey leaves all in a bucket, put something to weight it down, so like maybe a piece of wood on top with a brick on top to weigh it down, and then after a few weeks, especially during the hotter months in the spring, it'll start to rot down and it'll produce this thick black liquid, and then you put a couple of drops of that in water and you can feed the plants with that. I also add some nettle as well, and digitalis, which is foxglove, because foxglove helps with the regeneration of a new cell growth. So that's a good one as well. I might do a bit of an experiment, so have a group of plants just fed with comfrey, one with comfrey and nettle, and one with comfrey, nettle and digitalis, and see what difference there is, if much, between those plants. So the ones I'm most excited about growing, I suppose, are these Lao. This is the seed, the Lao seed. And last year, when I grew for Sheish, the polytunnel, which we planted up together in May, I was just basically there at weekends. I was commuting back towards Berkshire, Surrey, Hampshire area to work in the week, and then back to see Leonardo at weekends. Now things have obviously changed now. We're in Yateley, so it's more settled. I have Leonardo full time, so I don't have to move around so much anymore. So we've got some great projects on, and one of them is to grow veg in a garden just up the road in Frogmore, to a family who I've known for 25 years, called the Harwoods. They're very good friends of mine. Bob is the ex-mayor of Yateley, and they've basically said that I can use half of their garden to grow a load of veg. So we'll have a small polytunnel there, and we'll grow some Lao, some chilies, some peppers, tomatoes, onions, garlic, some pak choy. So many things I've still got to plan for it, so it's so exciting. I can't wait to start planting. But one of the things I'd like to do is try and grow some of this stuff under lights, so that we can get a bit of a head start, because sometimes the season isn't quite long enough, especially with things like Lao, peppers and chilies. And sweet corn is another one I would really like to grow, because there's nothing better than picking sweet corn fresh. You know, when you pick it fresh, the sweetness just is there. The sweetness that you can't really experience from buying sweet corn from a supermarket, because as soon as it's picked, it starts to lose the sweetness. And plus, you know, the whole GMO thing, I'm not 100% convinced about GMOs now. I think it's not so bad in this country, but unfortunately in America there's been a whole thing about not labelling GMO food, and it's sprayed with very heavy herbicide, pesticides, fertilizers, which is not good for the ecosystem in the long run. And we want to do everything that we possibly can to protect the ecosystem, protect the bees, the pollinating insects, because they're very important to the plants. There's a symbiotic relationship between plants and animals that's been going on forever. And GMOs have been going on for an extremely short period of time. So personally, I don't want to be part of the experiment to see if GMOs are harmful or not. Now, I'm hoping that they're not, but that's just another story, really, not to go into too much. But that's my belief anyway, that organically grown things are pure, well-managed project, and you can do well. You know, you just have to slightly try and control nature in a manual way, what you can do, and also by choosing what other plants you might grow with a crop. For instance, say something like marigold, which can protect a tomato crop against aphids, because the smell of marigolds deters aphids. Carrot fly, carrots you'd have to grow at a certain height, because carrot fly apparently only fly to a certain height, and then if you surrounded that area with herbs, it might mask the smell of the carrots. So you can always work with nature and plant certain plants that are going to be beneficial to other plants. So I can't wait to get these seeds planted very soon, hoping to get some growing lights for next week. I've never used a hydroponic system before, but I'm really interested to see how it's going to work. There's just not enough sunlight at this time of year to be able to do it successfully on your windowsill, for instance, or in a polytunnel outside. It's just sometimes you'll get spindly seedlings and they're not great. So I'm really excited to see what I can do with these hydroponics. I think I'm going to try and dedicate a whole room to growing whatever I can. Coriander as well is another one that would be great, and some lettuce, to have fresh lettuce all the time for salads. Be fantastic. I'm hoping this year is going to be the best year ever for growing veg. So excited about it all. So yeah, loads of peppers, loads of chilies, loads of lao. And one of the things about lao is I grew them last year. We just let them go. They just sprawled along the floor like a vine, and they just sprawled everywhere. I had to cut off about probably a couple of meters sometimes, or then a few weeks later cut a bit more off, because you don't want them to set too many lao everywhere, because what happens is they'll set so many that the energy will just go into setting more and more and more, and then those other ones won't get as big. So what I was doing, I was cutting off quite a length so that energy could go into the ones that were setting. And what I also did was I got a brush and I slightly brushed the pollen from the male and put it onto the female, which was very swelled, just ready for that pollen, and just to help out nature a little bit. Now, one of the things I'm going to do as well is mix a few really good perennial flowers in with those vegetables as well, to attract any insects, because you want them to do their job naturally. But I'm probably going to have to do that as well, just to guarantee that we definitely get some fruit setting. And climb some up frames, which I've not actually done before, and then gravity, what happens, gravity will take its hold on them and they'll become longer and thinner. Whereas the lao we grew last year, if you check out some of our videos, our previous videos from last year, you'll see they grew very big actually, but really shorter and fatter. But the other ones you can grow from the structures. If we can do it in both ways, we'll grow some from structures, some on the ground, some in polytunnels, some outside. I discussed with Shaish about growing them outside, and he thinks that they'll grow outside okay. And they're originally actually from Bangladesh, bottle gourds they're called, and I just love them. Really great crop to grow. So we've got so much going on this year. I will show you as we progress towards the spring. I'll show you exactly what else we're going to be involved in. Here where we are in Yateley, the back garden is needs a bit of a clear out really, a few bits and bobs around, but it's going to be a blank canvas. I'm going to grow some veg there as well. Little project to do outside the front, a small, like 30 centimetre wide by about 3 or 4 meters long. Just do a beautiful little border there, just to show off what we can do. Business is building slowly around this area, hoping to get more customers in Yateley. So such an exciting year, 2019. Can't wait to share more videos with you and show you what we're all about. I love our passion for gardening, landscaping and nature, and that's what this channel is all about now. From now on, we're focusing on